All right, we're live, fellers.
Alrighty.
We're live and in color. We're happy and we're
Excuse me.
singing and we're colored. Nobody's gonna finish that. Okay, okay, that's cool.
Give me a high
All right,
five.
yeah, there we go. Does nobody want to finish it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Okay, so so before we actually get started, because I want to kind of do a little bit more troubleshooting while I allow people to see what we're doing and to see like that we're actually live. Um,
Hmm.
so how would you like to kind of format it? Would you like to go through each person and allow them to discuss like or to elaborate on one of their green flags and we all kind of touch base on that? And then we can kind of just go through each red flag that or each flag that way? Or would you like one person to just kind of go through all three or whatever green flags they have and then we'll touch base on their red flags? Do you think that that's a better way to go for it?
I think the first
I
way.
think, yeah, me too.
Okay, so one flag at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Okay.
could kind of go in a rotation, like Candy gives one, and then we touch on it, then you give one, then we touch on it, and then the
Yeah.
next person, and then kind of keep going around if you want to do it that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me. This is actually hilarious that it's seems it's acting like it seems like it doesn't want to work on YouTube. So I'm checking to make sure we're good
Want
on
me to
YouTube.
check?
Yeah, I was about to say I'm about to pull it up on my phone to make sure that it's working properly because it says on my end that it's not receiving enough data to maintain a smooth stream. But I'm like, I'm using Discord. Like, relax. Okay, it just disappeared. So just let me know when you're able to um, get it to come up. It's not loading at all on my phone, so maybe it is something wrong
Alright,
with
let
my
me
internet.
see. It doesn't look like it's loading. Let me see actually.
Hmm.
It's loading on mine.
Is it loading on yours? That is wild.
Yeah, no, it's frozen.
Is it frozen?
It could be my Wi-Fi too. You know, my Wi-Fi is trash, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Let me actually, because I disconnected from the Wi-Fi on my phone, but oh yeah, that and as soon as I connected to the Wi-Fi on my phone, that bad boy said, no, sir, what are you doing? Okay, yeah, I don't see it at all. Hmm. Should be under discussion video. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
it's
no, it's frozen. Is it frozen? Alright, let me see if I can.
oh, okay. It's
That would
oh
say,
goodness, that's weird.
no,
Okay.
sir, what are you doing? Oh,
Okay. All right. I
I
do
just
see
can't
it.
tell how far behind it is.
Yep, I do see it. Oh goodness, I gotta fix that. I still have the title saying Apex
I
Legends.
just can't tell how far
Oh,
behind.
I do. All right, let me fix that and correct it. There we go.
It says, uh,
Yeah, it said it in parentheses, so I just overlooked it.
yeah, I see that.
We're not playing Apex today. Okay. All right. Oh, well, let me. I'm not on the Wi-Fi anymore. All right, we're good. We're good. So actually, maybe I should just leave that up, just in case there's any trouble that it runs into, and I can keep a watchful eye on it if it allows me to load it. Um. Okay. Yeah, I do like the idea of us doing it that way. Okay. Yeah, it's working on my end. Okay. Yeah, I do like the idea of us doing it that way. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's working on my end. Yeah, I do like the idea of us. That's
Okay,
yeah, that's Discord kind of freezing a little bit.
is it?
Yeah,
Maybe that's
cause
my Wi.
I was gonna say because I'm looking at it on your end, like, and it's I can see when you're trying to wave, it kind of like stutters a little bit. That's not even on YouTube. That's like as I'm looking on the Discord and on OBS, it's doing that.
So do you think it's gonna work or
Yeah, yeah, I think it'll work.
okay?
At least to the extent that they can hear what we're saying, and maybe visually it'll be a little stuttery, but I mean that's just the nature of Wi-Fi and
Video,
yeah, and
yeah.
video and stuff like it's not much you can do about that. Um, so hopefully, I believe as far on my end, everybody's coming through clear. So just double,
My
triple
Melly
checking.
girl.
Oh, that bye bye.
Hey, did that baby.
Let me
Mm.
maximize this, and that way we are good. They are not. That's crazy. They're trying to run ads, and the video just started. Like we're gonna run a ad for the audience right now. Um, okay, yeah. I think that we can just kind of go through, and Candy, I think we can start with you. I think I'd like to start with the female perspective. No? No? Okay.
Now we start.
Okay. Okay. Um I would ideally like to start with a female perspective. Vimby, I know your screen and your mic is muted, so I'll give you a chance to get everything situated on your end. So I guess because Josh was probably well, Josh was probably the most prepared for the show
Okay.
today, so I guess I'll allow you, Josh, to start us off with one of your red flags. I think that getting through the red flags is probably something I think would be very interesting. So, Josh, tell me and the audience what is
Hey,
like, huh?
is that red flag supposed to be like relationship wise?
It doesn't have to be. It can be though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
I
think
mean, yeah. Okay.
so me and Daquan talked about like relationship red and green flags and
Mhm.
like before relationship red and green flags.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was like we was mainly kind of talking about like when you first meet somebody, like in those dating stages, what are some red flags? Because what I was saying, he said was mostly like relationship green flags. And so maybe we can do a little bit of both. We can,
Oh yeah, that's
talk about
honestly I had a couple of both, and I just assumed that everybody else may have had a couple of both. Josh, I know that after we had spoke that maybe you had come up with a couple like out of relationship red and green flags, but I know that a lot of yours were related to relationship ones. So, we
yeah,
can start with either one.
I think my first red flag, I think it could be a relationship and out of relationship red flag. But I think you just people who control the energy of every situation. Like if you guys are going out, they want to pick where you go, they want to pick the music, they want to pick this, or if they're mad, everybody got to be mad, or they're gonna like, they're gonna be this cloud in a room. And I know like we kind of had a friend like this who out of nowhere would just kind of become like a cloud in a dark room, and it was like, what's going on? And there wasn't enough emotional intelligence there to like really come out and say what the feelings was about and stuff like that. So I think that's a interesting red flag to start off with.
Yeah. So you're saying somebody who just feels like is that more of like a from a controlling perspective
It's
or
almost like a yeah, it's partly controlling, but also at the same time I feel like a lot of the people who do it don't realize that they're being energy vampires. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
like if you're in a group of four, three just be like, I wish this person would stop acting a fool, or stop, everything don't gotta be about you type of deal. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And I feel
Yeah.
like it's almost like I'm in the center and everybody else and everything else is around me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, no, I that
So
makes perfect sense. So me and mom have actually talked about that and I call it main
it's kind of
character
like how
syndrome.
people.
Like
yeah. Like
that's
how
how
people
I see
act on
it.
their birthday. Like it's my birthday, so
Yeah,
all y'all gonna appease me today.
yeah, yeah. But they just act like that all the time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's I feel that. I think that's a really substantial like red flag. But okay, so my question to that would be, what are some of the earliest signs you might see something like that, like out of a relationship? Because for somebody like me who's out of a relationship, and this could apply to Vember as well. When you're seeing, like, what are some of the telltale signs that you'll see with somebody who has that red flag?
Um, I don't know. I think sometimes it can lie in like decision making. So like they might be like, "Where do you want to go eat?" And you tell a place, and they're like, "No, I don't like that." You know what I mean? It's like, but the whole time they got a place, and you've been asking them.
Right,
I
right.
feel like that's like,
Or not even
it's
ask,
like,
not even consider what
Hi,
you
Nessa.
want in the first place.
Hi.
yeah, in the
Good
back
to
of their
see
mind, they're
you.
not truly considering it. It's like your options are just kind of like whimsical, like like
Yeah,
I'm gonna show you this just in case, but
right.
really we finna go over here.
Okay. Yeah, Candy, would you like to touch base on any of that? Or Candy or
No,
Vember?
I
Like,
mean,
I know your mic is muted, but I'll give the floor to y'all.
yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree. I was trying to think like of some like scenarios where you could kind of see that behavior, even if it's not so obvious. And I just think the more that if you're dating someone, to me, that's the time where you like show off. Like that's where you give your best stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if in that context, you're not being considerate of, or the other person isn't being considerate of what you want, like that's definitely a red flag. And to me, it could happen it could happen as soon as, where are we going to eat? This is where I want to go.
Yeah.
And then like, no, I want to go here. It's like, yeah, I don't like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, I could see that.
So,
I could see that. Okay. Okay. So that's one red flag. So I suppose we went with one guy gave a red flag. Okay, one of the girls, give me one of your red flags.
Kimmy, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I saw you
Yeah, I
unmuted your
seen her
mic.
mic pop
Yeah,
on.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, I think it's just it relies on the reaction that you get because I feel like in those kind of instances, like Candace said, a lot of people are not they're gonna be careful about what they show you, but it's very, very small things. And I feel like for an example, like if you're going out to eat, they might not tell you off the back like, hey, this is a place I want to go to. But if you say, if you give your suggestion, their response is going to be like, oh, that's nasty. I've been there before. So I think it's in those small kind of reactions that you get
Yeah.
in the first initial stages that's going to show you like they might be a controlling person.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid point.
So it seems like it lies in reactions and considerations.
Yeah. Yeah. But that doesn't, eliminate the fact that as a whole, like down to its core, it still can be, seen as a red flag, but it just depends on, like you said, the decision making and things like the reaction to that decision making.
But I think it's also a matter of how you make a group feel. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing if you're in a group of 4 or 5 people and you make one person mad or feel uncomfortable,
Hmm.
but if you're out with a group of 4 or 5 people and you simultaneously make all of them uncomfortable, that's probably when you're the problem.
Well, do you think that that could just be kind of chalked up to just somebody having the red flag of just bad energy? Like
Um,
you just give off bad vibes, like you know,
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like nobody with bad vibes is ever gonna make it out to the club with me regardless.
facts,
You know what I mean?
facts.
Like it just won't get that far. But it
Right.
could be some people do hang out with people with bad vibes.
Exactly. Because it's
So I
like
don't
maybe
know.
maybe one of your friends has a friend and they're like they don't get out much. They want to come out and it's like that's why they don't get out much. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Okay. So we opened it up to Josh. He gave one of his red flags. I'd like to hear from my female co-host. Can you guys give me one of your red flags that you guys have? Like I said, it can be outside of relationship, within relationship, whatever you guys decide.
Yeah, I can go. Um, I have a few, and I
Yeah,
was
hopefully,
trying to
Nessa, you can still
think
hear me
of
with my mic
like
muted.
relationship, but
Um,
also keep it
yeah, I'm just glad to
general
have you here.
to
And if anybody who
not
stops
just
in
like
wants to say anything,
romantic
just let me
relationship,
know.
but
Um, hopefully they can
even
see my
work
comment. I don't.
relationship,
Maybe I can pin it.
any relationship where you are, just trying to create partnership and collaborate with this person, and that requires trust. So I was saying like keeping secrets.
Mm,
So hiding things, omitting things, not telling full stories, avoiding questions, like all of like that secrecy stuff.
mm, mm.
Mm.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
that is good.
I
That's really good.
yeah, I think mainly because like that can lead to so many other like red flags like gaslighting or anything like that because
Yeah.
it's like if you get confronted about a secret that you've been hiding and then you flip it on your partner like, "Well, you know, you weren't supposed to know or you shouldn't have been going through my phone," or something like that
Yeah.
where it's like but at the end of the day you were in the wrong. So I think that is such a
Even the small lies and omitting details is like one of those things. Like, what else? If you're willing to hide a little ass detail, what else are you willing to hide? If you're willing
yeah.
to hide a little detail, you definitely willing to hide a big detail and everything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
But
completely
when it
And
agree.
then
comes to
like
like dating and you first meeting someone, how do you know that they're hiding stuff? What are the signs in that?
Mm. I think.
I
That
think
No, you guys go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it really depends on how smart you are and how trusting you are because like if you dumb, you're gonna get played like a dummy. You know
Mm.
what I mean? But like I'm not saying like be suspicious of people, but like at least what they tell you should add up. You know,
Mm.
2 plus 2 should always equal 4.
Okay.
And if you giving me 1 plus 3 and telling me it's 4, I'm gonna be looking at you like, well, I need the other one at least.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
one
Like you can play me
One
for a
plus three
dummy, but
equals four,
don't tell me
Josh.
to add it up. One,
Josh.
well, hey, listen, I need more parts than a whole.
Hey,
Listen,
right.
I need an orange and a half.
Right.
I don't need.
Nah,
Nah, but
I
y'all
hear
get
you.
what I'm
I
saying.
know
Yeah,
I'm on the
yeah.
same page with you. Yeah, I totally get that, and I do think that I can see where you're coming from on the sense that it is up to us to be observant of like especially new partner behaviors because at the end of the day, if we're recognizing red flags and we kind of notice them or certain behaviors, we know what somebody looks like when they're keeping a secret. We kind of know like the telltale signs when somebody is out with you and when they're on their phone and they flip it face down. You know what I mean? Like that's something you can observe. You don't necessarily have to just jump to a conclusion about it, but just notice it. Like, like I wonder if that's just a thing. If somebody's just down on their luck, we as the partner should be able to say, hey, if I'm able to hold this person down, I don't think I mind picking you up, and if you work on my side of town, I'll drop you off. No biggie. You know what I mean?
What I will say
Hmm.
is this. um, that like that type of thinking can sometimes not end well. Like may not end up in like um so okay, so you asked the question like you said a grown person. So let's say like from the woman's perspective or any perspective, because I've heard it from both ways. Like if you're entering a relationship with somebody and let's just say it, you may have more assets than them for whatever reason it is. Yes, it's true. You can say you can make this investment, but I don't know if it's a red flag, but it's something to make note of, based off of the situation, because at this point, it's very important to gauge how motivated this person is to get out of it.
So
Like
it's like an
that,
orange
The
flag.
yellow flag.
it's something because like that whole like, potential stuff, it can get you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, they got potential. They hustling, they doing that for like 20 years and still be in the same place.
Sure, but at the same
So
time, I hear you, but I also think that I I'm always looking at the alternative. Relationships, life, everything, a lot of things can be seen as a gamble. So when you're taking a chance on somebody, it's because of that potential. And if it don't pan out, you can't look back in that and say I regret taking a chance on that person because you weren't wrong in seeing the potential. You weren't wrong in saying like that they person had good qualities and they was working. So if the person just panned out to where they gave up or they wasn't that person that you saw, that's an issue with them, not an issue with you. They didn't turn out to be
It's
the
your
person.
thing.
Yeah. So yeah,
It is,
maybe.
but you were there the whole way, so your time was lost just the same.
But I don't look at it that way because at the end of the day, if you look back and you say you regret it because the plan didn't work out, then you weren't in the plan for the right reasons. You know what I mean? We have to be in it for knowing
So,
that we because we have to be in it and knowing that we can look back and say I'm still satisfied with what I did. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not necessarily saying like you were only in it if the plan worked, but we have to look and say, was our plan only a good plan if it ended up working? Like, nah, we take pieces of that plan and say, nah, I'm satisfied with all the effort I put into it, and now I'm gonna go into the next thing even better. So that's
I
just
mean,
my
yeah, you,
perspective on it. I don't look at it as wasted time, if that makes sense.
yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but it's still time that you spent putting into a plan
Yes,
that didn't happen, regardless.
objectively that is correct. It's all about your perspective on that plan
Yeah.
that I feel like I try to change based on, because like I said, there's no plan guaranteed to work. You know what I mean? Like there's
Right.
so it's
And that
always
is
a gamble.
why it is critical to, at that point when you meet that person, to judge how is
Mhm.
this plan going to work out,
Yes.
or if you have your perspective, okay, if it doesn't work out, am I going to enjoy the ride anyway? To
Exactly.
me, that's not my perspective.
Yeah.
Something better happen at the end of this road, or it's a problem.
That's
Period.
Hey, but that's why I'm
So
glad to have you here. That's why, because I know November. I'll let you chime in because I feel like you have been wanting to put in a couple of your 2 cents. So I'm very curious to see what our female companions feel about this because, like I said, I know my perspective is a little different on that, and I can understand that, and I can admit that me and Josh sometimes have different perspectives on this. And so I don't know if mine is a male perspective, if mine is just a different perspective. So I'm glad that I can have you guys here to say that as well. So Vimby, if you want to, I'll open it up to you.
I mean, to me, it depends on who I'm dealing with. Because if you was just talking and running your mouth just to talk and run your mouth and make it sound good, then yes, I'm going to be wasting my time. But
Justifiable.
if I see that you were genuinely trying and cards were just not in your favor,
Hmm.
then I'm going to take a look and say, maybe I'm not the problem as in as a person, but maybe I'm in your way.
Okay.
Because sometimes one thing that I feel like I have learned is I feel like sometimes when you're dealing with the wrong person, your life doesn't move the way that it should be moving or the way that you want it to move
Hmm.
something.
yeah,
So that kind of came into, learning, I guess. It just really kind of depends. It depends on the situation.
it
I feel like a
does.
lot of the times we being lied to. So yeah, I'm gonna be mad that you wasted my time because you was a bum the whole time and you could have just told me you was a bum.
Yeah, but
It was
they
move the way that
a
we
bum
needed to
a
move.
bum a bum ain't never gonna tell you that they a bum. That's one thing I know. Cause like me and Josh, we'll tell you like, hey, I'm bumming it right now. Like we in these
Hey
trenches right
man,
now.
I got $12 to take you
That's-
out, buddy. Where you want to go?
hey, Mickey D's,
You can
cause
get two
Wendy's might look
McChickens and a
expensive
fry, and
today.
I'll get a frosty, and we can share.
I was like, I want to take you out, but I don't know if I even got McDonald's money. We got dollar menu money. We gonna do something though. We gonna have to
But
walk to
that's
McDonald's.
right, and that is it is very situational.
Yes.
The situation that
Mm-hmm.
I was like speaking from was more so the one where it's like you just the person just didn't put in enough effort to really make it happen, or they fake like they
Mm-hmm.
was just kind of like BSing along the way until it blew up in their face. So like those situations, that is where it's like, okay, a waste of time. But if you're genuinely together trying on some, like trying to get towards something, and it just doesn't work, then yeah, you really do have to just just take solace in the effort or the journey that you took to get there and go from there.
Yeah, that that that
I
that
just,
makes perfect
you know,
sense.
back in my mind, I would still see it as a waste of time, though. That's like just,
But you know what? I've talked to many women, like even women in my life personally, who feel like dealing with me while I get to know them. If I don't guarantee them that at the end of us getting to know each other, and this is just me speaking from personal experience, if I don't guarantee that we're going to be together in a relationship at the end of our like getting to know each other stage, they see that as a waste of time. Because for me personally, I don't believe in dating someone to get to know them. You know what I mean? Like I don't see the point in that, because you invest all that time when dating with someone and then you find out I don't really like this person, but you're already dating and you're already together and you've already invested that much time. That's how people get stuck in
yeah.
toxic relationships, in my opinion. So, but I've spoken to many women who feel like they are not comfortable getting to know me before actually dating. They want to date to get to know because they don't want their time wasted. So our experiences may lead us to that different sort of perspective.
What's the difference
But
between
Candy, why do you?
dating?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Oh. I said, what's the difference between getting to know you and dating?
So like making it official, making yourselves exclusive with one another, making you know what I mean, like
Sexually exclusivity.
yeah, sexual exclusivity, but also not just sexual exclusivity, but also making it like publicly official that you guys are a unit, you're a couple, this is your significant other.
Okay.
And so like that kind of nature of making this an entire thing, and you guys go through the stages of dating where you guys are romantically involved and potentially talking about moving in at some certain point and all the things like that. Whereas me, if I'm getting to know you, we might see each other once a week, maybe twice a week if we're lucky. But we're
Mm-hmm.
asking each other those questions. We're going out on dates, that kind of thing. We're not dating while we go out on date number three. That's not, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
personally,
It's when you
that's
get to know each other enough, then you
yeah,
decide.
and that's
Yeah.
for
And then
me.
my
For
thing
me,
is
that
like,
process just takes too long for some women,
and
understandably.
then for me, it's like if I date you
Like,
and yeah, if I date you and we go through that whole like arguments and stuff and we break up, there ain't no getting back together. So we got to get all that through in the talking phase and
Yeah.
smooth this out. Because once we date, it's a one take Drake and we out the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
That's
not.
but
I'm not
that's
in
it.
for the whole breaking up. Like
Yes.
we got to
yeah.
have that out of the way. You
Yes,
know what I
that's
mean?
Yeah.
why that's why
And
it takes a long time for me. Like, and I 100% agree with you, Josh. Like, it takes a long time for me to get through that because I genuinely want to have no doubts when I go in. Like when we finally take that step, I want it to be feeling just as serious as it does when we move in together. You know what I mean? Like, I want that to feel like I want no,
Pressure.
I just want it to feel like that kind of serious. Just like no, like we're taking this step, this is a big deal. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be seen as just like, oh yeah, we're dating now. Like that, I personally just that doesn't make
Yeah.
a lot of sense to me because this is something that I'm really truly going to invest, myself within. So, like I said, I wouldn't put that on my red flags or anything. I was just giving my perspective on, my experience with regards to your situation.
But Candace, I'm curious to like why you feel like it's a waste of time because, like Kwani said, a lot of girls feel like that, and I'm just curious in the mindset of it.
Why?
like
Why?
curious in the.
When, go ahead.
I was just gonna say like curious in the mindset of why they want to immediate date as opposed to like getting to know each other and then date.
So that's just my subjective reality of how I live my life. And so I don't, like I said, Josh and Candy, I don't know if that's a male thing or if that's a me thing, but that's why, like, my perspective on it is going to be a little different.
I see it both ways.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
100%.
I do both, but like yeah, I do value my time, but I think everybody does.
Yes.
And I think when you have a plan and you know where you want to go,
Hmm.
then not like moving towards that plan just nags at you. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And so
Absolutely.
it does create a sense of urgency in you and then in the people around you too.
Yeah, yeah. I can
Like,
I
say
think it also like my bad. I was just
no,
gonna
no,
say I
no.
think
Yeah,
it
I was
also
asking a question.
depends on like how emotionally mature you are, because like if you're like if you're 70-80% of how emotionally mature you're going to be for the rest of your life, like yeah, you're going to feel like everything's a waste of time if it's not, if it is, you know what I mean? It's like because you've already matured in the sense that you know so much of what you want,
Hmm.
that like if it's not aiming that direction, if it's not got the right amount of force to land in that spot that you're thinking of,
Yeah.
it's going to just seem, it's almost like how for me I'm in that spot in life where every job just seems like a dead end job. Like I'm
Hmm.
just here, I'm bored, it's nothing I want to do.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's just like it's like torture, you know what I mean? And I feel like what you're describing is kind of the same way.
Hmm.
It sounds a little bit like torture to sit there and teach somebody, to sit there and do this, all for them, like we were saying earlier, to run away with a piece of your heart and you
Yeah.
be left hurt, and your time invested, because time is money and time is for family and for the great things in life.
Hmm.
And it messes up your mentality. It makes you like, it flips your world upside down a little bit. So I
I
definitely understand both
I see
both
that.
sides.
I will say this, like, because you kind of hit the nail on the head. Now,
Hmm.
when, like I said, when I was thinking about these, I was also thinking about work because
Yeah.
I've also been struggling with like those relationships too. And I think like the investing of the time and the help is like when it comes to work, that is where it is like a real pain point because if I am investing my time in other people for work, then how can I do my own job? And
Yeah.
therefore it's like we don't get, so yeah, I don't know if it's just what's in my life right now, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
like a hot
Yeah.
butt for me right now.
Okay. So would it be fair to kind of compare it, and this is just a question on my end. Would it be fair to kind of compare it and look at it at a sense of, let's say we are working at a job and you're investing your time, which objectively you're investing your time in this job, and your goal
Yeah,
is you want to be the manager, and yet
right.
you're getting promised one day you'll be the manager if you work hard enough, and day in and day out you're working hard, you're going over or overachieving above and beyond, helping your coworkers, you keep getting promised this promotion, you keep getting promised this position, and then one day the manager who's been promising you that position decides that he's going to hire somebody else for the job, or he's
Hmm.
just going to leave the
From
company in
outside
general,
the
from
company.
outside the company. And so I can totally see like that kind of, that kind of sense, like, and I hate to compare the two things because sometimes when you make those kind of comparisons people feel like you're kind of invalidating their feelings, like relationships are more serious than a job. But no, I think that there's a
No, it's not.
genuine
I think they're very
equivalency
similar.
there. So would you feel like that's kind of a fair comparison, like when it comes to investment and that sense of
Yeah.
like, what was it all for?
But you know what? The first thing, if, with that example, I would immediately I would not think that as being a waste of time.
Mm,
Like my first thing would be, regardless of what happened, I still learned all of those lessons.
mm.
And that sounds
That's
weird, right?
that's very interesting.
Because I'm in a relationship
No,
Yeah,
that doesn't sound mean at all.
I think that's very interesting.
at work
Feel
at
that's why I was curious about your mindset.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually super interesting. Like,
Because at work I feel like I can take it with me. Like if okay, I still presented to these persons. I still created these decks. I still released this functionality. Like I still did all that's still on my resume. If you're in a relationship and like it don't end well, most of the time the stuff on your resume
yeah,
is like ain't the best. You know what I'm saying? You probably hit some bumps and rocks and did you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, but so I can see in those situations where it's like I learned more of what not to do more than like positive thing. But
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, it's very situational, but just like surface level, that's just how I think
It
of it.
makes sense. That's very interesting because I think that
So,
that's just the way that I apply that same perspective just kind of across the board. So, but at the very least, it's good to see that you can see my perspective and have your own. And I can understand your perspective on that as well. So I think that there's merit to both sides of that. Vimby, I'll let you touch on anything if you want to before I'll go ahead and jump into my red flag. I'm going to do something really simple, less deep. So something just kind of just tossing it out there.
Oh, I mean, I don't really have much to say. I just think it's funny because like basically what Candace was saying, we're pretty much opposites. And I think that's why I was curious on her mindset when it comes to relationships. Because
Mm.
usually I walk out of the relationship like if I don't feel like I was played,
Yeah.
then I walk out and I'm like, I'm holding my head high because I'm like, I know I wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't feel anything like I don't feel like it was time wasted because at the end of the day, I still learned something, which is signs of who not to deal with.
Yeah.
And I probably learned some things about myself because I know I don't be perfect. I know I spaz sometimes. So
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just, I guess it's opposite. But work factor, no. If you pass me up for a job, we got a problem
Yeah.
because I need to see an increase somewhere for all that work I did for no reason.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that's
You know,
fair.
check
That's
my
fair.
resume when I
that is
applied for the new
crazy.
job. I was the manager for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. I might put that on there because I did manager work. Like I was doing manager work and I didn't get the manager position, but I'm still gonna put on my resume. And if you call them, yeah, I was the manager. I was the manager.
Yeah.
I did the manager stuff. You know. Uh,
Right.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so I'll go ahead and throw out one of my red flags, and then I think we'll toss it back. I think Josh, you started, so I'll allow you to toss out a green flag since we all have given a red flag. So one of my red flags, I actually told this to Josh before we were on the phone. Really simple red flag, but it's outside of
Wait, I'm
relationships.
sorry. Um, who else joined?
Oh, that's one of the guests from YouTube. She asked if she could listen in
Oh,
Discord. Because my YouTube
okay.
is acting up. If y'all if y'all ain't seen, sometimes I have to mute my mic and type. So she's very invested in the conversation. So I told her, I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead and join in the chat. So yeah, don't pay no mind. I don't think she's gonna have to do anything contribution wise. She actually is gonna have to go to work, but she wanted to listen in since my YouTube
Okay.
just wants to act funny. Josh, I ain't got no connection out here. That's why I don't be streaming.
Man,
My Wi-Fi, I
they
got
got me paying
Boondocks.
$70 a month for 5 megabytes of internet, bro.
I mean, listen, just I'm a
Five
What?
megabytes.
I'm a
I
What's
didn't even
freak.
know
that?
that was a thing
I ain't
still.
either. As you might as well call what is that Roadrunner and get that dial-up going.
Man,
Basically,
I could just,
silent.
I could damn near run the mail faster
Man,
now.
like, hey, man, I'm a jog over there. I get this email to you. Like I thought you said
Man,
email. Nah, this R mail, running mail.
I'm gonna just jog this to Arkansas real quick.
Send this to you in person. Um,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so my YouTube right now it's sitting, but it's been in and out all stream. So I'm hopefully by the time it goes back and go through the playback, hopefully I'll have something to take from it. But if it acts up, I'm gonna be very sad because I won't have footage of this. I know this is a great conversation, but like I said, this isn't gonna be a one-time thing for me. I'd like to bring this back. So technical issues, it happens. Can't escape it. So hopefully I'll still have some footage to be able to put up for people to get through.
Okay.
So for me, one of the simple red flags that, and this is one red flag that I think I am noticed immediately because you can't ignore it. It is a female who is loud for no reason. Just
Are you serious?
just loud. Just now, and I had this because this happened to me recently, and I think November I might have told you about this, where the girl just like there's a difference between like a girl who just talks a little loud versus a girl who is obnoxiously loud, like
Like
seeming like
abrasively loud.
yeah, like it seems like you always want people to know you're speaking, and so it comes off as obnoxious. So like when a girl is trying to like shoot her shot with me and she shoots her shot and she like, hey, how you doing, like, because that's how she said it. Like I'm just, what I mean, that's real life, that's what happened to me. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like I'm playing a
Dang.
caricature, but it happened to me. So you know, and what am I supposed to say in response to that? I feel attacked. I feel I'm scared. I don't know what to say. I'm hurt. What do you want me to do? Like I was doing good before you yelled at me. Like it's
God.
just doing all
Not
right.
before
So
you yelled at me.
red flag.
To me that is a
Red flag up.
yeah, it's the reason why I say it's a red flag is because to me it's certain behaviors that you see similar to where like a woman might say that a guy who sags his pants like real low is a red flag. You know, it's a behavior that you kind of can attribute other negative characteristics to because of this thing that you've observed in this person that you've observed in other people. So when a girl is like obnoxiously loud to me, I could only imagine the type of argument that it would be if we were to have a simple disagreement. I don't yell. I don't do that. I don't shout at my partner like if we have a disagreement, sit down, let's talk. But if you loud right now and there's no problem, you know, I don't think that I would be able to make it through a discussion where we don't see eye to eye. You know what I mean? Like that's for me personally. I don't argue. I at most I debate, but I prefer discussions. So
Yeah, yeah.
for me that's just it's a minor red flag, but it's something that's just like kind of outside of relationships that if you're trying to court me and you real loud all the time, yeah, it's probably not gonna work. I'm probably just
Hey,
gonna
what's funny is
slide.
I don't even trust people who got too much energy, bro. Like if you show up to work and you're like, "Hi, what's up, team?" Like, no, like, bro, you're hiding dead bodies in your house or something, bro. Because I wake up every day and I feel like I want to punch concrete, bro. Like, I don't know, coffee don't do that, dog. Because if it do, I need some.
Dang, so somebody can't be overly happy. Like, it's
No,
gonna be a
not
great day
around me,
today,
dog.
guys.
Listen, if your good energy start rubbing off on me to the point where I get happy, like there's this Japanese dude at the factory, and every morning he comes by, he's like, good morning," and like
Yeah,
he like fist bumps everybody, and then he's like, "Happy Friday." Like he don't know how to say much, but
yeah.
like, bro, kind of makes me happy. But imagine somebody doing that all day long. You know what I mean? Like
Okay, I could kind of see that. Yeah,
that's suspect. You
it's
know what
a
I mean?
little
Like,
sus.
That's suspect.
yeah.
I could kind of see that because there is kind of a line where it's just like, what you got going on? Like
Right. Like,
that ain't
yeah,
a
bro,
normal
you
level of always happy all the time. Like something might be going
right.
on that way. I can see that.
You trying
I
to
can
make
see
a
that.
friend. Yeah. You
That's
want people to
So
crazy.
believe in you.
have y'all watched Dexter?
I
Have y'all watched
haven't. I
Dexter?
haven't.
Yeah,
Mom
yeah, I
talks
love
about it. She likes
Dexter.
it.
That's what that reminded me of because he used to bring in donuts
Mm.
Yeah,
into the
yeah, every
office.
week.
Yeah.
Right, yo, serial killer.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so. But that's just a minor red flag. Like I
And
said,
everyone would
is
just compliment it every time. Like, you're just so great, Dexter.
yeah.
You're just
Yep.
the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. That's
I
true.
No,
saved
I
room
think
for your
that's a
donuts
good
this week.
because you bringing up the arguments
Hmm.
like just opens the door to conflict resolution, like you said, in
Hmm.
general.
Yeah.
And if you can't resolve conflict, you're not going far.
Yes, and I mean that ties to one of my later red flags that I'll get into a little later. But to me, it's more or less a thing of uh, obnoxious behavior. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's what I really tie it to. Like it's just one of the
Okay.
more commonplace obnoxious behaviors that I've observed with a lot of females that may have tried to talk to me or that I've uh, dealt with in my life. It's just there's certain obnoxious behaviors, over the top behaviors, and that's one of them. That's like you can notice off rip, but mainly just like obnoxious and as a whole is one of the things that it really grates. Like it just grating to me, just really gets under my skin.
Yeah.
And yeah, I typically am able to kind of brush certain things off, but when you're obnoxious, it really bothers me. Like I just don't like obnoxious people and obnoxious behaviors. It just really rubs me the wrong way.
It's obnoxious.
It yeah, like it's in a sense it is that is exactly what it is. Yeah. So unless Vimby you would like to touch on anything like that, when it comes to like loud dudes or something, like I'll pass it over to Josh if you want.
No, I don't. I don't think. No, I don't think I've ever had that.
No, you ain't never.
No.
Hey girl, I girl, I girl. Not none of that.
honestly, when it comes to me, like if I'm not interested, I can't even hear you.
That's
Let me figure
man.
out. I've been mute to these women before.
That's. I
That just hurt
mean.
my
And you
heart.
just barely
Let me
trying to
figure
get
out.
my
I just get
attention,
tuned
and
out
I can't
the
even hear
streets,
you.
bro.
Hey, we be
Can't.
getting tuned out.
That is cold
Hey,
blooded.
hey, November. Do
Wow.
you remember that pretty light skinned girl when we used to go to the gym that probably thought I was the worst
Yeah.
kind of dude because she was so pretty that I ignored like me, I don't shoot my shot. I'm shy, I'm afraid of rejection, I'm self-conscious. I typically never shoot my shot. I typically never tell a girl like I'm getting better like and I'm almost 30, but like I'm getting better at like just telling a girl that I think she's pretty. Um and you know G gives me the business for that because he's like you gotta let him know you gotta talk to him. I'm sorry, but like there's this really pretty girl that we when back when we used to go to the gym. She was super pretty, super in shape. She was there all the time. Every time we was there, she was there. And like I didn't care about nothing. As soon as I was here, I'd be like, hi, you my wife. I just wanted to let you know that we getting married one day. I love you right now. Like and this is like I'm like normally that wasn't normal for me. November knew that. Everybody else knew that, but she literally was side eye me like I'm tuning you
Yeah.
out. I'm mad that you're even here right now. Like that would be the that would be the look that she would give me is that she would be upset to see me there. Because and I didn't realize the
Yeah.
vibe that I was probably giving off like, you know, like F-boy vibes. Like and I didn't realize it. I was probably getting
Oh
tuned all
Yeah.
the
wow.
way out.
That's funny.
Nobody wanted to tell me, but you know, it's okay.
And
They were probably just happy
Hey,
that I was talking to a girl.
boy wasn't
Like
even a thing. Like,
I really wasn't. I was a non-factor.
I'm weak.
But yeah, Josh, if you would like to go ahead and give one of your green flags, I'd like to hear it.
I think
I never
like I
did
was
red
saying in our
flag.
message.
Oh, you never gave a red
Oh, go
flag.
ahead.
I thought you
I was
did.
No.
waiting on
Okay.
you anyway.
We was waiting
Yes.
on you. You keep turning
Ah,
your camera on and off.
I,
I did give it.
because I look crazy, and then I see myself on the camera. I'm like, nah, and then I get a little boost of confidence. I'm like, let me go ahead and put it back on, and then I'm like, nah.
I think it looks good.
Well, mine is just something simple. It's just inconsistency.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really
I'm
good.
saving the good ones for
Are,
later.
That's a
are we
really good
talking
one
about
right
like
there.
inconsistency, like you told me you was gonna be here at 3 o'clock and it's 3:30, or inconsistency as in uh you told me you was gonna take me out to dinner and then you just texted me talking about let's chill and smoke.
That's a good question.
All of it,
All of
because
it,
It could
just
be
in
say what
general.
you mean and do what you say.
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Hey.
easy
Hey,
enough.
look, not
If
me and
it
Josh did
genuinely
literally did the
happens,
same exact motion. If well, all right. Well, okay.
All
Then.
right.
Like, so, well, all right.
unless
It's
something like
just,
genuinely happens to where you're like, hey, look, like I'm so sorry I have to cancel, or like I'm running a little late. Okay, that's understandable.
mm-hmm.
But if it's something every single time, no, you're an inconsistent person.
So it's consistent
And you need to start
inconsistency.
talking like you're an inconsistent person.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's what
consistent
it is.
inconsistency.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not so yeah, so it's not like you just is like, oh, something came up or, you know, every now and
Mhm.
again they're like, it slipped my mind. But if it's just like once a week you got an excuse or once a week you said you was gonna do a thing, you didn't do it. You said you was gonna help me
Mhm.
with a bill and then when the time comes to pay the bill, I ain't got it. You know, like I can see that. I can see that.
So
I don't
is
want to hear
going
you
back to
forgot either. Ever.
that. It's okay. So a specific instance, like the moment, the red flag moment, is that could be y'all out to dinner, and it's like he like forgot something, or it's like okay, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you when I get off work, and then throughout the week, it's just like it's always not the right time. Like how like what is a scenario where it's like, yeah, you inconsistent? Like how
Mm.
soon can we find out if somebody's
Yeah.
inconsistent?
Putting the yeah, so how soon can you see that? Yeah.
To be honest, I look at those small things. So you say you don't do it, you're inconsistent. You
Mm.
say you're
The
gonna call
first
me
time,
when you get out the gym, You don't do it, you're inconsistent. Because to me, the way I love is I'm thinking about you constantly, right? And I'm thinking about somebody that says that they love me. Maybe
Yeah.
in the beginning you have some leeway, but I'm still gonna pay attention to it,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? But this is somebody who I'm thinking like, okay, you're saying you want to be with me, you saying you love me. We're talking up to like we're getting into a relationship kind of thing.
Mhm.
Me, I'm thinking about you all the time, even if it's small things like that stupid joke he said.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking of me in the same way, that means we're not. There's no equivalency there. That means I'm loving you more than you're loving me, and I don't
Mhm.
want that.
But what
Mhm.
if the guy, and I see what you're saying, but what if the guy's like capacity for love is just different than yours? You know what I mean? Like, so
It
for
could
you,
be,
you
but I
know, it's
think that's
just different.
different from being inconsistent.
Very. That's true. That's true. That's true.
But to answer that question, if it's different, she still don't want it. That's the answer.
Well, let me not say that. Let me not say that because he could
But
just
you
be a
said
chill kind of
you
love.
just said that that's the type of person that you want.
Yes, I do want somebody that's on my level. But remember, let me rewind because if you are just someone who is simply just chill and we have that kind of conversation where you're like, I'm not that kind of person, I'm not this kind of love bomber,
Mhm.
then that's a little bit different if we've had that conversation.
Okay.
But if you've done that to me in the beginning, because that's where I'm going to get it from, I'm going to get it from how you picked me up.
Mhm.
And that's the kind of things that attract me. So if you're doing that in the beginning and then all of a sudden it switches up and you're showing that you're not being as consistent as you was before,
Mhm.
that's when it becomes a problem.
Okay. Okay. So it takes
But
some
if
Yeah.
you're
time.
always that way, then I can't get mad at you for continuing to be that way if I decided to pursue you.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
So that makes
But the,
perfect sense. Yeah. So and it's not like you can
Mhm.
say the first time they don't call you back, it's oh they're inconsistent. It's the fact that you allow the pattern to go.
tick mark.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, this pattern they normally have this pattern. Once they start breaking that pattern, you're going to start looking and saying like, well, if they start breaking this pattern, I'm going to look at it as inconsistency. That's how I view it. Now, I could be interpreting that a little differently, but just
And
from
I
my
Like
think
if
end.
them
not
inconsistencies are low key drive you crazy too, because it's like if you texting me the
Yes.
same day after you get off work, why are you texting me at 8:15 today and 10:30 tomorrow, and then 7:15 the next day talking about I just got home? Like, bro, if you was home today at
Yes.
7:15, you was home the last 2 days at 7:15. And it's like I'm
Yep.
not trying to be a weird nigga, but excuse me for pointing out the facts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why
Like I'm
we have
not.
to be considerate though, because like I know for me, when there's a difference, a break in a pattern, and I'll be like, dang, I haven't talked to them at all, like in the last like 4 or 5 hours. It's been a long day. I'll probably let them know, especially if it's unexpected. I'll let them know, like, hey, like, sorry it took me so long to get back to you. It's been a really crazy day at work. I'll tell you about it when we get on the phone, Or if I know a busy day is coming, like November when I had that football weekend where I was running.
Hmm.
I couldn't be on the phone because I had a game here, game here, game here. I'm gonna let that person know a week ahead of time. Like at Saturday's gonna be crazy. I'm probably not gonna be on my phone until later that evening. So that way, when the time does come, they're not thinking, "Oh my God, is he alive? Oh my God, he doesn't want to talk to me." Like no, they're knowing like
Hmm.
I'll just wait to hear back from him. Hopefully football went well. I might even text him like, "Hey, hope you having fun," something like that. Because I feel like that's what I would hope that I could do if I knew the plan. And if I didn't, I would hope that the person was considerate enough to let me know why they were being inconsistent with me.
And that's my thing. If you're telling me and it's legit, then okay, that's cool. I have no issue with that. But if you're just like, oh, I'm gonna call you when I get off of work, which is at 5:30, and I don't hear from you until 11 p.m., yes, we have an issue.
and
Yeah,
that's number one.
that's
You'll talk to me later. Don't tell me you're gonna call me when you get off of work and then don't do it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
And it
just tell
goes
me,
into
hey,
the
I'll talk to you later.
because the first time it happens, you're probably gonna what? Give them the benefit of the doubt. So it's like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
blah blah blah, and then it goes
mm,
into that whole like secrecy thing, and then you gotta like, okay,
yeah,
Hmm.
okay, today it was 10, then 2 days from now it's 5, and
yep,
then and
yep,
then it becomes
And
2.
then
So it's like,
yeah. Like Josh said, you
huh?
don't want to be the
our
crazy one, but you're gonna notice those
But our
details.
brains naturally is good at pattern recognition.
That's
You know what I mean?
legitimate.
We don't
Yes.
always know what is, but we know what isn't. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's literally how our brains work.
Yeah.
Yep,
You can't.
something doesn't look right.
If something that, like you said before, if 2 plus 2 ain't equaling 4, then we got a problem. You know what I mean? It's like,
hmm
hey, I know how math works. You can't tell me 2 plus 2 is 5, and me not point it out and say, wait a minute now,
And
something.
it's funny because you'll sit there and break it down too. You be like, so you telling me 2 plus 2 is 4, right? And you telling me 1 plus 2, but you telling me that this shouldn't equal that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like
It's
the
like,
math when the math ain't
well,
mathing.
it's like, yeah, but you'll
Yeah.
break it down piece by piece, and then people will just be like, yeah, I agree with your conjectures, but end result, no, I don't agree with that, bro.
Well, that gets into another one of my red flag because I have one more red flag and one more green flag. But I'll leave the floor back to Josh because I want to allow him the opportunity to give another green flag so we can try to get through because I know everybody has a couple more red and green flags they'd like to get through.
I think a green flag for me is like how you were saying how obnoxious girls kind of do too much, but a green flag for me is like in general when a woman shoots her shot. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I think women assume that men get a lot of compliments if they look good, or girls hitting on them all the time and stuff like that. But if every girl thinks that about a dude who looks good, where does that leave the dude who looks good? You know what I mean? So it's like, but there are women out there who be like, oh, I think you're handsome, or whoop de woo woo, or that's just a green flag for me, because it's like, you liked me enough, you thought I was cute enough, and you thought I looked chill enough to come and tell me how you felt about it. You know what I mean? As opposed to just being like, what, like a peacock trying to strut, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want something, go get it. It should be the same for both. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So
So how would you
I guess
summarize
that's
that? Like, how would you summarize that in sort of like a couple of words?
that's just
You feel like that's like
what's
maybe
that word?
insecurity, maybe? Like,
Um I don't know, because I feel like it relies mostly on assumptions. You know what
mm,
I mean? Like right now, if Candace in November went on the street right now and told a random dude that he looked good that day, that dude's gonna be so genuinely surprised that he'll probably think about it for the next 90 days.
oh, I definitely would.
You know what I mean?
I,
But if you go tell a
I
woman, oh, like you look good today, they're gonna be like, oh, that's sweet. Like they might think about that for like the night, go to sleep, like, oh, but the next day they're gonna want to hear it again. A dude gonna be like, hey man, yesterday I was walking over there by, he gonna be telling all his friends and everything.
yeah,
They gonna be like, for real, bro? Man, for real?
yeah.
Like,
Ain't nothing like a genuine compliment from a female that can really gas you up. And I don't know.
yeah,
For me personally,
flat
I
out.
get scared when a girl compliments me because I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I,
Do we talk to each other now? Do I get your number or do you get mine? What do I do? And it's so like
right. I
I
feel that
genuinely
because
like I get anxious if a girl's like, like, and it'll hit you out of nowhere. You will get caught so off guard. A dude never leaves the house that day expecting to get a compliment. You can leave the house hoping to get
man,
one. You be like, I'm in my
feel
best
that heat
clothes.
rush through your body, boy. Better try not to
I'm in
react
my
too
best
quick.
fit,
You might
and then you
pass
won't get a
out.
compliment. I'm in Walmart in my regular clothes, and then somebody like, "Oh, you look good."
That's how it happens for us too.
I know, but I think that I genuinely do think it's a little different. Like, I think it is very different because I'm like thinking now that Josh has mentioned it, thinking about the last time a girl actually genuinely like that I didn't know or that I just randomly happened to meet genuinely just complimented me and complimented something I was wearing or something that she thought I was handsome or anything like that. I'm like, you gotta go back a little while, and the stuff does stick with you as a guy. I think it sticks with you for a little while.
I saw this video. This older lady was doing a TikTok, and she was just walking up to like random black men and was telling them like dang it, what was she saying? I think she would tell
You
them
look
like,
good,
you have such
guillotine
a
or
pretty
something like
smile,
that.
huh? About their smile.
Nothing good. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, she would tell him like, "Oh, you look so handsome when you smile," or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you would always see like they would just get like this big
Blush.
old
Yeah.
smile on their face, like it just turn into little boys, like,
Yes.
oh, like
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
And I
That's
was
that's
like,
real.
oh,
That's real. That's real. Like
I
there
was like,
there's a
it
lot.
just seems so genuine too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's
I would say
rare.
that, but I think that's a good point. Like
Hmm.
for me, what I would what prevents me from complimenting a guy, like the stuff that's popping into my head is I don't know if he's single, which really doesn't matter, right? But at the
Not
same
every
time,
time.
I
Yeah.
just have like back of my head, like I don't want no drama. Like I mean, you know
Yeah.
that because you
That's
don't
fair.
know,
That's fair.
you don't know, you don't know. But
Hmm.
like especially when it comes to like saying somebody's handsome or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I think I would like compliment a guy's shirt or something like, "Oh, those are some nice shoes." I can't remember the last time I did it, but I think like I would do something like that. But I like now that hearing you both say it, I totally like could see that.
Yeah.
Like it makes me it it makes me I probably won't, but it makes me like, dang, like y'all should get compliments more. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like it's
Hmm.
not like what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know how it could go wrong because you're like, oh man, you look so nice today. Hey girl, so yeah,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah,
but I feel
well,
like
what
I feel like a good man.
remember-
As I feel like a good man is going to respond to you. For one, the response is going to tell you everything. You know
Yes,
what I
that's
mean?
true.
Like if it's a sleazeball dude, he might respond like that. If it's a dude who don't get complimented much, he might not even know what to say. He might just be like,
yeah,
"Wow, like
Yeah.
thank you."
Thank
You
you
know what I
and
mean?
smile and
But
yeah.
and
yeah,
if he got a girl and he's a good dude, he might just be like, "Wow, I appreciate that." You know what I mean?
yeah,
And go on about his way.
Yeah.
But if a dude is single, he that compliment is gonna mean so much to him that like, it can go any direction from there. Like he
Yeah.
might just be like, "You want to go to coffee?"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you don't know what to say to y'all. There's no easy way to just be like, "If you think I'm attractive, I think you're attractive. Let's go on a date right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We ain't even gotta
yeah.
worry about nothing else. Let's just go."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's still hard, I guess.
No, that's a good point. Like, and that's I do think that I agree with you, Josh, 100%. The response that you get from a dude, and I do totally understand the kind of idea of like this fear, like, oh, like, well, I don't want to get that response. I don't want to have the dude now, because now I'm kind of locked in. Like, now I gotta give him the wrong number, or now I gotta, try to avoid this situation. I didn't mean to
Mhm.
get myself here. Where it's so much easier to just avoid that entirely. So we kind
Right.
of convince ourselves that the cost or potential cost of giving somebody a compliment may not be worth the benefit. Whereas like the
Yeah,
benefit would just be that warm and fuzzies that you get from seeing somebody smile,
right,
whereas the cost could be,
right.
now I got to deal with this dude. That this dude, oh shorty, so I mean, you try to
I mean,
compliment
and
your boy,
you can
like
say stuff in passing by. You could walk
That's
by
what
and
I
just
was
be like,
just
"I think you look so nice today," and just keep it moving.
yep.
yep,
I've said that to people before.
yeah,
I've had girls come back up and just be like, Here's my number." You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's like, "Hey,
Oh,
I
can't,
appreciate you."
yeah, can't relate, but that's
Can't relate.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So that's great green flag, Candy. I'd like to hear one of your green flags if you have any.
um, yeah, I would say like uh learning about your needs, like what you want. It's kind of just like getting to know you, but not just like surface level stuff, like really getting to know you. And when you talk about things that are important to you, they're engaging and they respond and they're invested. So if
Mhm.
it's like, I,
And they
like, oh,
respond in a way that allows you to keep expanding your feelings.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Like, you can talk about my day at work, it can be, yeah, it was whatever. But if it's like, yeah, this thing happened, and they're just invested, like, okay, so what
Yeah.
happened? Like, what, tell me, how
It's
did you
kind of
feel?
like those relationships where you see the husband always knows the wife's work tea, where he's like, "Oh, and Sandra, what was she wearing?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you say
Right,
Sandra
Yeah.
always looking funny on
right.
Fridays,
Right.
and
So it's
you
it's
know,
uh it's the difference between the guy who's just like, yeah, okay, not, and she said what? Okay, yeah,
Exactly,
versus the guy who like,
exactly.
wait, Sandra said that? And
Yeah,
would you say like it's even it,
right?
and I
Yeah,
can see that because even if you're not actually fully invested, even just being considerate enough to remember important pieces of the
question.
story and ask questions and just engage, like I think that does mean a lot. Like I totally see that. That's a good green flag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
notice it like with different, because some, even when you talk about, like, I'm sure Daquan, if we had a conversation about anime, it'd be very short as opposed
Yeah.
to with November.
Yeah.
But I would ask like questions and try to, like, okay, yeah, so yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know that much. So
Yes.
it's just recognizing somebody at least trying to take that effort, like, okay, so I don't really
Mhm.
know about what you do, but just like
Yes.
tell me why you like it. So then
Yes.
I can
right.
find something to relate,
That's total.
relate to.
That actually does touch back. Both Josh and November know about the story of the girl that I was dealing with, and we were talking, and I did like I thought she was beautiful, and she was working. She had a lot going for her, and something that I didn't know if I was being crazy, but it did really bother me when I was talking about anime, and she basically was just like, "You like that? You like that's weird. You're weird for that." Like, and so it just
Mhm.
like be like it that kind of sense of feeling like you would be the type to look at me and just insult me for liking a thing I like. That's how it felt, and it hurt my feelings a lot because I'm just like, you saw this thing that I've liked that's been a part of my life forever and means a lot to me, and it connects me with so many awesome people across the world, and you just immediately just called me weird for liking it. So it to me, if it hurt my feelings a lot. So I do think that I can attach that to what you're saying, that if we're talking about it and having an interest in something, either you not engaging or directly being contradictory to my interest in something can be a big deal.
Yeah.
I think that's the best feeling too, like when you have like a partner and it kind of feels like they're your best friend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're telling them about all those stories and they're
Yeah.
super engaged, like, you should have
Yeah.
said this and this and this.
Right.
Like, hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, yeah, like you said, it's like I have my friend.
Yeah.
Because it's
Hmm.
not like,
hmm
most of the time that's a person you spending most of your time with anyway. So
Mhm.
that
hmm
is a great gift to be able to release and have those conversations.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll give mine because we'll probably do another 20 minutes. So we'll probably do this and then we'll do like a lightning round, see if we can get through as many red and green flags as we can. Um, so I guess my green flag would probably be, it's kind of like a toss up, but I think that I'm more along the lines of my biggest green flag being like an effective communicator. Because I feel like that's like one of the number one things for me. Because I was going to say like patience, but I think that patience is a, a trait of an effective communicator. Because I think that for me, that's something that I learned as trying to be a better communicator is to be patient with the person I'm talking to, um,
Yeah.
and to just give them the grace to try to express themselves however they see fit. And I do my best to interpret that without
Yeah.
making them feel like I'm antagonizing them, that I'm attacking them or blaming them. Like, so I think that it does tie into patience, but I think that just somebody being an effective communicator is, I mean, I truly can't necessarily think of something that's more important in a characteristic of somebody that I'm either talking to or want to be with.
And I think it's really important to kind of like expand on that a little bit.
Oh,
Like you're
absolutely.
saying, effective communication,
Hmm.
that they can explain very basically how they're feeling in basic sentences with no roundabout. Like, I'm feeling sad because you did this.
Hmm.
That's a very
That
powerful
that
sentence.
is the
I'm feeling
absolutely
angry right now inside, and I want
yes.
you to get away from me for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Those simple statements will save you from so much trouble.
Yes, yes. I think I can add to that, and I think traits of effective communication, which Josh touched on, is clarity. Like being
Yes.
clear, just being and being able to have the ability to explain yourself and express yourself without making the other person feel like you're attacking them. So if you're telling me that I hurt your feelings, tell me. Just tell me. You don't have to yell at me. You don't have to scream at me. You can tell me I'm upset with you because you did this thing, and you know that hurts my feelings, and I feel like you didn't pay attention to that. And a person like me, I'm going to look at that and I'm going to like, "Oh my gosh, how could I be so inconsiderate? Why would I didn't even notice." You know what I mean? I feel like a good man is going to hear your communication in a clear way, and is going to introspect and look at what he could have done to improve this situation. An immature
Even if he
man,
doesn't like say anything in the moment though, like he might still go think about it, and then be like, okay, so I see where I messed. Like
sure.
one thing for me, like you remember when I got into it with Slim, because I don't remember where I took her, but long story short, young me took her somewhere and didn't really introduce her to the people that I was, whoopty woo woo seeing real
Yes.
quick.
Yeah.
And she got on me about that, like nice way to make me feel like I matter and all this stuff. So I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, and I never made that mistake again,
Yes.
So it's like part of it is explaining why you feel that way so the other person can make those necessary adjustments.
Yes. Yes. So just kind of being
The other
considerate of how
person
they
has to
speak.
respect those feelings too, though.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. But that's
That's a
that
hundred
goes
percent.
yeah, that goes within being an effective communicator. Is if you're an immature man and say November, you're upset with me for something that I did, and you tell
Mhm.
me and you're very clear. You're like, "Hey, like why didn't you know what I mean? Like you ignored me when I said this thing." Whereas like maybe in the time I was being absent-minded, genuinely didn't notice, didn't hear, or something, and you're explaining that to me, and as an immature man, I say, well, why are you even worried about that? Why would that even bother you? Like that don't make no sense. Like you sound dumb. Like
Mhm. Sounds
the
like a red flag.
sounds like a red flag. It is a
Hmm.
trait of an immature man who does not know how to introspect or effectively communicate. But if I'm going to handle it as a good man or a man who's hoping to be good, I'm going to say, My bad, babe. I didn't even notice. Like, when did I do that? Like, you gotta let me know when I'm doing something like that, so it don't happen no more. I'm gonna try not to make it happen. And so it's just being able to not just express yourself, but also listen to your partner's expressions and be able to take those criticisms, even if need be. That's just what I would say is an effective communicator.
I think
Hey,
that like I do agree with the effective communication.
Mm,
I think that like it depends on like what November said, people have to respect the boundaries, but they also have to they also have to feel safe to even form a sentence like that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, and I would say a lot of us are not like that emotionally intelligent to just do what you just said.
okay,
That's why a lot of people don't.
okay,
That's why a lot of people don't say what they want to say. And they're trying to get the courage and the strength to just say a basic sentence
yeah,
like you did.
yeah,
And sometimes it's because of how what the react they're fearing the
yes,
reaction that they're going
yes,
to get.
yes,
And
right.
that is their communication. So even if they do meet a good man or vice versa, like a good woman, whatever, they still can think that that is the way to communicate.
yeah,
And yes, it is a red flag because it's still how they communicate,
hmm,
but
yeah,
true, like effective communication,
yeah.
if that's just not how the person
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, I think I would just touch on that just by saying like November knows about, multiple situations I've been in where I have attempted to be the effective communicator. I've attempted to be the patient one in situations and be honest and clear. November, I think we were talking, and Josh knows this as well, where I was talking to a girl, and the way that she was talking to me, I didn't appreciate. So I told her, I said, "Hey, can you not talk to me like that? That hurts my feelings." And so I don't know a better way for me to be clear, to be calm, to be patient. And her response will determine the kind of person she is going to be to me. And so when she
Yeah.
immediately took that and said, "Oh, you soft,"
Mhm.
okay, you know what I mean. I see the kind of guy that you are not only used to communicating with, but would probably
Yeah.
prefer to communicate with. So
Right.
Yeah.
you know, for me, as a communicator, as you know, the idea of trying to be a patient man and a good communicator, I feel like if I am with the right woman or a good woman, then my effective communication or my attempts at effective communication will rub off on her, and she will notice, no matter how much time it takes, she will begin to notice that she doesn't have to come to me with aggression or frustration. She can come to me with calm and patience and be like, I'm explaining this to you because of the reaction I'm going to give her. So I think an effective communicator can make someone else a more effective communicator, because I think ideally
Mhm.
everybody wants to deal with someone who can be clear with them and be patient with them and give them the grace that they feel they deserve, especially if they feel like they're being misunderstood. So I think that that's just where I would be at if I'm dealing with somebody who isn't necessarily on the same page with me, or if they're maybe lacking some emotional intelligence. We all can learn. So that's how it
So
goes, you know.
I think some people, they try to communicate, but they don't really communicate the severity. Because I know I've been with like a few females who would be like, this made me feel this way, but they won't say how drastically it made them feel that way.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times people try to communicate it, but they also try to communicate it in a less honest way. And I've literally had to tell people like, listen, you just got to tell me exactly how you feel, or else like I'm just like, I guess, dumb in a sense that like I can't figure this code out. You
hmm
know what I mean? But if you plainly tell me I feel this way, you could say like I feel bad enough that I just want to leave you. It's a lot different than just saying I'm mad about earlier. You know
mm,
what I mean? So it's
yeah,
like two different things,
that
but
is this.
it's like
Yeah, it's different.
I don't know. It's like some people fail to communicate in that way. So it's like they still communicate, but they don't communicate the severity of it, which is really important.
Yeah, but I think that's from a person to person basis, though. I think that would be a more effective way to communicate with you. Whereas, like, some people might look at that and say, if my girl says she was upset or bothered by a thing, maybe they'll overreact and be like, oh my God, my relationship is in jeopardy because she's upset about earlier. You know what I mean? Like, it's a
Yeah.
person to person basis, I believe, to where it's like, how somebody is going to interpret if somebody says that they're upset about something, or they want to work on something, or they feel like, hey, we need to talk. You know what I mean? Because there ain't nothing more that a guy fears than the words, we need to talk. You know what I mean? Like that to me, that means the relationship is in jeopardy, and I missed something that I probably shouldn't have missed, and now I'm scared. You know what I mean? Like
The
that.
scheduled
Man.
conversation. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's it. We scheduled a whole meeting. Like where we got to be at, like and when. Like as soon as you get off work, call me. Because we have to talk. Like oh God,
Oh man.
Yeah, hey, and I'll add this. I hate when a girl says we have to talk and it ain't nothing serious. Why do y'all do that?
Funny.
Why y'all do that?
Funny as heck.
Why do y'all do that? Cause I get that y'all want to talk, but don't text me and be like, "Hey, we gotta talk. We really have to talk after work. Can you call me after work? We really have to talk." And now my anxiety is up here because I'm like, "What did I do? What I
Man,
hurt
if you
you?"
tell me that, I might just quit my job and call you.
Listen, I'm like, I gotta take a break. I gotta take a break. I gotta go to the break room because I don't know what I did, but something bad is going on. She been thinking about something and she's about to manifest it, and it's bothering her. She had a dream I cheated, like, and she ain't tell me this morning.
Right.
It's like
Man.
I can't stand when that happens. It bothers the heck out of me because I'm like, my anxiety bad. Why you gonna tell me we really have to talk? When you get off work, can you please call me? Like, don't scare me. Stop doing
That
that.
is
Funny.
Okay, if anybody has any other thoughts, I will let Vimby. I know you want to give your green flag, and then I'll go ahead and start the lightning round. We'll do that for about 15 minutes, and then we can go ahead and wrap this up.
Um, my green flag was someone who can push you to try new things.
Yeah,
So, like,
I
you
like
say
that.
you're thinking about doing something and like you're nervous because maybe I don't know you're subconscious or something. They're like, try it. You would be great, and if you fail, I'm still here with you. So,
I
someone
like
like
that.
that.
I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then like pushes you to be better too. You know what I mean? Because like I said
Mm.
Mhm.
at the birthday party, that's one thing Daquan has done for me. Like, you know, a lot of times our
Mhm.
personality can get bent sideways according to what we're going through in life.
Hmm.
And if you don't got nobody tell you to be like, hey bro, that was kind of nasty, or like, bro, we don't really do
Mhm.
that around here, you know what
Hmm.
I mean?
Hmm.
Then you could really take that and run with it like anything else and take it to an extreme.
Yeah.
And that's why we got these little 20-year-old kids shooting at former presidents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you take one thing and you really just run with it unchecked, and
Yeah. You
so that's
can
big. That's a
extreme.
big
You
green
you
flag.
you fall into an
Yeah,
extreme real easily. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
it's a really good one.
Yeah, I like that. So I guess I'll go ahead and get started with our lightning round. We'll try to keep our responses to about, let's say, 30 seconds per person to any red or green flags and see how many we can get through, when we're looking, around 6:15-ish, cutoff time, okay? So I'll
All
go
right.
ahead and start with Josh. You can give a red or a green flag, either or.
Um, I'm gonna do green flag, and it's somebody who understands your financial situation, whatever it may be, and they can plan dates and outings and whatever according to that. So, if I got $100 for date night, you can plan dinner and, maybe two things that don't involve money, or, it's not one thing where you're like, oh, well, I wanted to do this, or, like somebody who really cares for you is gonna be like, hey, if $80 is what we got, then let's go. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I think staying in your own financial range and not really trying to impress anybody, especially the younger you are, it's more detrimental to your pockets and your future than when you're older.
Mm, yeah, I like that. If any, I was that That's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I have anything I can add to that. It's
I
very straightforward.
agree.
Yeah, I agree.
It's definitely like just like putting just being mindful and considerate of the
Mhm.
person that you're in a relationship with, and like that's truly like I'm with you, like
Mhm.
okay, this is what we're doing. And honestly, I think that it is great to be able to find someone who can do things with a little bit, because
Mhm.
when you get more, you're not going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Or if
Right.
you have a lot and you lose it, you know that you're still going back to somebody who can make do. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, okay, you lost your job. Now we just sitting here watching TV because nobody has an imagination.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's facts. Bimby, anything? Oh, your mic is muted.
Yeah, sorry. Um, mine, I have more red flags than I have green
Mhm.
flags. And mine was a man who has a hard time, well, who contributes to inconsistent emotion.
Oh, the red flag.
Mhm.
I see
Okay.
what you're saying. So somebody who always got you going through different mood swings because they don't
Mhm.
really know how to interact with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that does tie back into the whole kind of inconsistency theme, which
Yeah.
seems that which I mean, and if this is something that's reoccurring, with
I
behaviors
wouldn't I
with
wouldn't
men, it's
necessarily say that
problematic.
it goes in with the inconsistency theme personally, because I can be on time to everything, but at the same time still give my woman mood swings. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure.
But it's like maybe I wasn't gentle enough with you this time, or maybe you was in a worse mood this time, so I should have been more gentle. I didn't
Hmm.
explore all the possibilities necessarily of how you was feeling.
Right.
And I don't really think that really speaks to like inconsistency on a big level, but I think that's something that should be smoothed out early on in relationships and in the dating phase or early dating phase.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for
You
sure.
really want to get to know your partner.
Yeah.
If I can't
Mhm.
rely to keep me emotionally stable, and not saying like you're in charge of this,
You crazy.
but if I can't go in there saying that, okay, I'm not going to come out of this mad or frustrated or with anxiety. That's
Hmm.
it. That's because of inconsistent behavior.
Right.
That's the way I see it. But I see what you're saying. Like, and to me, that's more like I'm consistent with something, but I'm still inconsistent
In
with
this,
something else
yes, in
because,
this other regard,
and then
yeah.
you keep,
Yeah.
yeah.
That no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean, but I guess that just
It
does tie
sounds
back
like
into the
somebody
idea
who
of
would be consistent at bringing up these same behaviors. So it sounds like the inconsistency might be their unwillingness to change or interact with you in a different way.
Mm, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I guess I'll throw out another one. I think this touches more with me. I would say green flags. Um, and I'll put these both together because they're both like kind of love languages, and they're mine, like my big two. So I guess like somebody, but I think like somebody who kind of like reassures me or affirms me. So like somebody who can like speak good into me, you know, um, because if you know me, you know my struggles with my insecurities and my low self worth and my self doubt. But if you're the type of person who can kind of, it's that kind of mentality where you're like, hey, you're doing great. You know what I mean? That or it could be a physical thing. You look handsome today. Like me and Josh said, it goes a long way. So I think for me, just that love language of being not only reassured but positively affirmed, you know, would definitely be such a big, huge thing for me. And it doesn't have to be super consistent, but just when it does happen, if this is something that's a trait of somebody, I'm going to notice it for sure because when you don't get those affirmations, you notice them when you do, you know. So
Mm,
and you appreciate them all the more when you finally do get them. So it's a big green
yeah.
flag for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
I
say I
mean,
flag. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'll keep it quick. I'll just say I think it's a big green flag when you're progressive about it. When you keep trying to do it, when you make sure you're doing it and
Hmm.
like you're doing it on purpose. You're not just doing it, you're doing it on a level that makes it clear why you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like that's a love
Int-
language and I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Candice, you were
Um,
saying?
yeah, I was going to say um a green flag would be if they act without asking. So if they're proactive and it kind of goes into like knowing about your needs, but like if you just mention, yeah, my door handle broke, and then they show up with a door handle,
Yeah.
green flag.
Yeah. No,
Right.
that's yeah.
Like,
So somebody who like takes initiative when it comes to your needs, like
yes,
that. Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
That goes back
That's
to
so
the
funny because I
2 points
was literally thinking
you
it
have
Yeah.
before you said it.
to.
No,
So
I.
when we're talking about like being clear in communication, I agree with that. But there are some nuances in relationships where at some point your partner just wants you to understand stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to spell it out.
Mhm.
You should know me. You should know what I like. You should know my
Yeah.
moods.
Yeah.
Saying you can read my mind, but you should at least get halfway
Yeah.
and then like help me out with the rest.
Yeah.
So I think there's like some nuances in, but I definitely see be definitely being clear,
Mhm.
when it's a problem, but there's definitely value in anticipating your partner's needs.
I can see that.
And
I think that that's where I think from my perspective that I was looking at was because, like I said, I'm coming from more of a perspective of somebody who's not in a relationship or would be going through the stages of getting into a relationship or the early stages of a relationship versus somebody who might have been locked in for a year or two or even 7, 8 months, you know. So I think there is a difference between like asking for someone to be clear with you on that level where if I'm
yeah,
still getting to know you, yeah, I definitely need you to be more clear with me than you would if we was 2 years in.
yeah,
I know you well enough. I don't. You probably don't really have to be that clear with me because I probably know you so well that I know before you even tell me you had a bad day that you probably had a bad day. So your
yeah,
bathwater's running. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's that kind of thing where it's like if you actually do, like you said, take an interest in and engage with this person
yeah,
on that level, they really don't have to be 100% in big bold letters. I had a bad day. Like that won't necessarily be, have
yeah.
to be up front and center. So I do see what you're saying. Just the perspective for me is a little different. I definitely need
Mhm.
you to be clear with me in those early stages. So because it helps me get to know you. You know,
Yeah, of course.
Vimby.
Um, Someone who, this is a green flag, but someone who is direct. But you
Yeah.
guys already said that, so
Yeah, that. Yeah. But it's good to see that we have some connectivity on that where it's like men and women can both kind of say, yeah, we do like somebody who's kind of clear with us and direct with us and can kind of tell us mean what you say and say what you mean, like that goes a long way. I don't want to have to solve the jigsaw puzzle every time.
That's where it gets old.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Josh, another red or green flag?
Red flag. Let's see. Um, when they don't hold you to the same standard they hold their self, or they don't hold their self to the same standard
Mm,
they hold you to. So,
Hypocrisy.
yeah, a
that
hypocrite.
one.
Somebody, oh, you're gonna get mad at me for doing this, and then go do something worse. But oh, that was, you know what I mean. Oh, that's in the past, ass person. You know what I
Or
mean?
do the same thing and
Yeah.
then be like, well, it's different when I
It's
do it.
different when I do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
That I feel you
Mhm.
and it's frustrating. I
Yeah.
100% feel you. Like, well, when I did it, it was different. How? Because I did it.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
very frustrating. Yeah. I can see that. That's a red flag for sure.
Yeah. I'll get that red flag wrapped up. Okay.
You got that pillow, start waving that joint around. Waving that joint
That's
around as a red
hilarious.
flag. Candy?
uh,
A red flag or a green flag would be they want you involved in their plans, like their just
Mm.
the things that they do, if you're getting to know them. I mean,
mhm.
at any point, really, like they got an event going on, if they got a hobby, they got something like outside of how y'all spend time together, but they start to bring you into that.
Yeah.
I think that's a green flag.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's facts.
Yeah.
I think that has a
They,
lot of merit.
huh?
I said no, I think that has a lot of merit. We touched on that
Yeah.
earlier too. Like with like say if I'm watching an anime and my partner doesn't know a lot about it and I kind of ask like, "Hey, would you like to check out this show with me? Like it's one of my
Yeah.
favorite shows."
That's
Like I
similar.
think, you might not get into it, but I would like you to be a
Okay,
part of my thing.
the difference could be like if I'm like, okay, I'm learning about anime, let me learn or let me ask you about anime. But then the other side is that person then invited me to Comic-Con.
Yes, yes,
Right.
Yeah.
I
yes.
see.
Yeah. So I guess it's different than some like asking somebody to take interest like, "Hey, watch this football game with me," versus, "Hey, would you like to come to one of my games with me?" Is that sort of like that kind of
Same
difference?
like, hey, I'm having to everybody's coming over to my house. Like I'm just saying like stuff that was usually them and somebody else.
Oh, and they're
Now they're trying
involving
to
you.
bring it,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
into
I'm
like
trying
their
to
other
involve
group.
you into my thing that was normally my thing, but I want it to be our thing now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that
And
makes
even like
sense.
people too. Like I want you to meet my work friends. I want you to meet, my gaming buddies,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I definitely
Right.
can see that for sure. Um, oh, does that fall on me now? Um,
Yep.
I would say a red flag is a lack of accountability. So when you're not able to, own up to the thing that you've done, you know, maybe there's always an excuse as to why you did something, and maybe the lack of accountability could be you're in the wrong, but you don't
Yeah.
care. Like for whatever reason, it's not my fault. And uh, lack of
Yeah.
accountability kind of ties into gaslighting and things of that nature because you're going to find a reason and hypocrisy, like Josh said. I think that lack of accountability ties into both of those because you're going to find ways to justify the action you did or the words you said or the way you're feeling even if you're in the wrong at that point and anybody telling you maybe objective facts like hey you punched a baby in the face like everybody hates you now. Well, I only punched that baby in the face because he was looking at me. You seen how he was looking, like that. You can't justify a unjustifiable action and then
Right.
and be unwilling to be held accountable for your justifiable action. So I think that that's a huge red flag for me. Is that kind of thing.
Yeah. Cause you,
Yep.
whew,
Okay.
man,
Yeah.
that's
Um.
like saying like if you gonna lie about this, like if you gonna, I ain't leave the toilet seat up or I
Yeah.
ain't leave the dish in the sink.
Yeah.
Like then if you like I Heat? What you talking about?
Yeah.
Is that word?
Yep.
No.
I
Yep.
I think it's a green flag for like if you meet someone and they just not if they're like I'm not talking about like you when you meet a girl and she's like, "Oh, I've been celibate for 2 years and I'm going for five more." But you know, when you meet someone and they're not necessarily trying to move as fast, like you guys are trying to experience each other first, like as friends and hang out and see if you can even hang out first. You
Yeah.
know, because a lot of people get together, you know, oh, let's have sex and oh, well, we're together now and
Oh.
now we're fighting because we don't even hang out
Yeah.
well together. We
Yeah.
can't even watch a movie without fighting because you keep asking me questions and
Yeah.
you know you leave your dirty socks on my bathroom floor, so I don't even like you
Oh
staying
my
the
god.
night, you know. So I think it's a green flag when you just genuinely see if
Real.
somebody's best for you, like you
Yeah.
actually date them and see what you like about them and find them pretty and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That ties into my green flag, but I'll let Candy go ahead. Actually, Vimby, did you get to go? I don't think you went to go. I don't think you got to go that last round.
Um, green flag is someone who plays in my hair.
That's funny.
I love the
That
little
is
green flags.
hilarious.
I love the little green flags because they mean so
Red
much.
flags were so huge too.
Yeah,
It did
like
not make
these
sense.
are big. Society has a problem with masculinity being like. She's like, can you play in my hair? Like, just, but I love the little green flags because they're so valuable.
That is funny.
Right.
And
I
when that man
second.
love you, he will. He be like,
Yeah.
he might not do it right, but he did it.
Yeah, it goes a
So
long way.
good.
Yeah. Well, if nobody wants to touch base on that, Candy, a red or green flag. Josh just gave his.
I think that was if what they don't like is what. Oh, I think we probably already covered this. One of
Mhm.
the other things was like if what if they don't like what you need. Like if you need the rubbing of the hair and they
Mhm.
like I don't know why in nobody's hair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
So
if it's
red
like
flag is just genuinely love languages not matching up.
Mm.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. If I need
Yeah. That's
affirmation,
yeah.
if I need service, they
Yeah.
like that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I
Because
feel
that
that.
would lead to all the inconsistencies we were talking about earlier as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. And I think that would also lead to like ineffective communication because if your love languages are different, the way that you guys communicate will most likely be very different as well, and how you like to be communicated
Yeah.
with will change as well. So I think that they all do tie into each other. Um. So my uh final green flag is, and that's it's more physical, but for me it's sexual compatibility. I think that
That's a big one.
you know what I mean, like Josh said, knowing each other's bodies, knowing our intimacy levels, and knowing what we like and what we're interested in, and our boundaries, respecting those boundaries, and your level of affection, like all of those things can kind of come to light if we're compatible, and there's nothing better to me than organically being sexually compatible with someone because it helps you trust them more. If I trust you with my whole and entire physical being, then you know, like, that's something that I would like to express that, and I hope that you receive that and give, you know, in a way that I can receive it as well. So I think that that's probably one of my bigger ones as well, is sexual compatibility.
Good one.
And
That's
on
a
top
good
of
one.
that, you don't wanna buy a 3 foot cake and get it home and not like the flavor, right?
I mean,
You know. I mean,
that was
you
a
might eat a
that was a
slice, but
horrible
that's
way
gonna
to
be
put that,
torture.
Josh. That's, that was
You made
awful.
it sound so loving.
Yeah, I'm like, and we
But
connect on a spiritual level, and when you
yeah,
try
you
the
know,
flavor,
I
you wanna
got
like.
that.
I stop using
Use
soap.
soap on your booty
Do
crack.
it.
Don't just wipe it with the rag,
Use soap.
man.
You take a
Soap
shower.
and water.
You stink.
Days
Take
are
a shower. I'm
affordable.
talking to the dudes because just for some, I don't know, like girls. I don't know if this is a problem with girls, but hey,
Hey,
take a
dude, it's
shower.
not gay to wash your booty, man.
Take a
Oh
shower.
my
Take a shower.
It's not gay
Get out of the
washing
shower.
your
But
booty.
before you get out of the shower, take a shower. Turn the water on. Don't just get in the shower. Take a shower. Take one. Taking a shower means getting in there. And don't use no daggone 3-in-1 soap, dandruff, conditioner, hair,
Yeah.
shampoo,
Or
and body
Dawn.
wash.
Men, stop
Get
using
your-
Dawn,
get
bro.
some
It's not
soap.
for your
Get some-
skin,
get
dog.
some
That's
soap.
for baby and
Get-
covered in oil, bro.
Do
Who's
do
not
this. Get
brushing their teeth?
so do the get your soap. Get your soap. You take some soap. Lather your body. You want to see some suds.
Yeah.
Take a shower. Take a shower and use the water. Take a shower. Get
And
your body
Axe is
lather.
not cologne.
Axe ain't cologne,
Axe
and it's
is
not
not
deodorant either.
cologne.
You take a shower. You get out of that shower.
Or deodorant.
And when you get out of that shower,
Axe is
after
not
using
cologne or
soap,
deodorant.
hold on, I'm not done talking. Because you're not hearing me. Take a shower. Get in there. I don't know how many times I've said take a shower, but take a shower. Use the soap. Rinse the soap off your body.
Listen,
And then you
if-
get out of
if
the
you-
shower.
if
Brush
your
your teeth
boxers
when you
got
get out the
holes
shower.
in 'em,
And-
more
and-
holes than just
And,
3
and,
holes
and,
in 'em.
and then when you take a shower,
Buy
after you
new
get out the
boxers,
shower,
bruh.
put the
Buy new
toothpaste
boxers.
on your toothbrush. Don't just brush your teeth. You're just doing the act. Put some toothpaste on your
right
toothbrush.
hip shouldn't
and
be
just
showing when you put your boxers on.
Get in there and do little circles too, because you got to get in there. And after you brush your teeth, you use the mouthwash and floss. Do whatever you got to do. Get your mouth together.
We know
And
they
then
Tommy Hilfiger,
go
but
in
buy
there
new ones.
and get your
They
deodorant.
old.
Take the
Amen.
deodorant and
Junior
roll it.
high.
Roll it on your body.
Junior high.
Roll it on your
Hallelujah.
body.
Trust
And
me,
then
don't
you're
even
good.
cover 3 of your toes.
PSA.
Well,
You
now.
wearing socks
It's a
with no
PSA.
sandals, but your toes is out the
Mhm.
sock.
Why your toes
Socks
out?
with
Put your
sandals,
toes
but your
away.
toes-
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Don't even touch your toenails. Your fingernails is dirty.
Mhm.
Fingernail.
got-
Walking around
you
with
got
dirty
dirt all in
fingernails.
Your beard.
What's wrong with you?
Your nose is dirty.
Beard lint.
Your eyelashes is connecting.
What's wrong with you? What's
Mhm.
going on with you? Just
Mhm.
Man.
So
Mhm.
wash your body with some soap and use some deodorant and brush your
Your
teeth.
sideburns
Wrong
going
with
to
you?
Dougie.
And wash your clothes too.
Mhm.
Get some gain and wash your clothes.
Hairline don't make
Mhm.
sense.
What's wrong with
Mhm.
y'all? Dirty.
Mhm.
Man.
You're
Mhm.
dirty. Dirty.
Mhm. Mhm.
And floss your teeth, man.
Floss your
It
daggone
shouldn't
teeth.
smell like garbage dumpster truck when you're trying to talk
What's
to me.
wrong with you?
Smell like a stink blaster
I
blaster
should.
can.
I shouldn't be scared of the letter H.
What? Dang. Letter H. Ooh, I ain't heard that one yet. That's deep.
Yeah, I
Dang.
mean,
We gotta end on
we
that
got-
one. Nah, we gotta end on that one.
I was just about to say
I
if we
ain't
have
never heard that before.
Y'all are hilarious.
if we have any final
Dang.
thoughts, we're a couple minutes over, but that's okay. If we have any final thoughts that y'all would like to get out of there, I went on my rant. I'm cool. I got my final thoughts out. Vimby, Josh, Candy, if y'all would like to give any final thoughts, we'd love to hear them, and then we'll wrap it up.
I think we need more people to come on the show just to give their input. You know,
Absolutely.
we're not. I don't think we should make it like an exclusive thing. Just you know what I mean. And
Sure.
people can join in for segments if they want to join in and give to and leave. Then hey, you know what I mean. I feel like it will only add because that's why we try to get more people on.
Yeah.
Is so we can all have these different views
Mhm.
and change how we think based off of other people's views and things like that.
I'll try to
So-
do better with outreach when it comes to now that I'm trying my best to get back into YouTube. And once my audience kind of realizes that I'm back streaming, it takes a couple of streams for them to realize I'm back streaming again. But once they do, I will invite them to not only comment in chat, but also to, most of them are members of the Discord, and they can come in and just kind of say their piece, and we can discuss that as well. That's what I was hoping to do today, but we had a lot that we wanted to go over, so that I will work on that.
I enjoyed the conversation. I learned
Yeah,
some
same.
things. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Well, hey, as long as we feel like we learned something, we didn't waste any time.
Ah, I was just thinking about that. I swear I was, bro.
There you go. Time well spent.
Time well spent. We learned some
Yeah,
things.
time well spent.
Vimby, if you'd like to close out with anything, I'd love to hear, your final thoughts, and we can go ahead and we'll log out of here.
Crack is whack.
Crack is whack.
Oh my
That's-
god.
Truer
Crack
words
is
have never
whack,
been
folks.
spoken. Hey,
Relationship
don't
talk,
smoke crack.
green and red flags.
Yeah, so this was an amazing
Don't smoke
conversation.
crack.
I thank you, Candace. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Vimby, for being a part of this conversation. Hopefully, if the opportunity, I will upload this to YouTube because the stream just was acting up a little bit. So be on the lookout for that if you're curious to, watch this back. And put your thoughts in the comments on that as well, because we can always touch base on this later, or I can respond to it. We all have access to the YouTube channel, so we might just communicate with people who decide to comment on this discussion with your thoughts. So I appreciate everybody who will eventually be able to see this. And yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this conversation. Hopefully, my goal is to be able to do this once a week, Mom. So we will. Yeah, I'm sending shots. Pa 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 pa. I'm actually going to try to stay consistent with this bad boy. I might not be my mom, but I am.
Do this.
Hmm.
And like, I think we should like get a room at each other's house and do this with microphones and everything.
Like the full
Yeah, like the
setup.
full setup. I mean, I have a microphone and I have some of the tools. So y'all know coming
Because
here
I
ain't gonna
want
be
to
to
do
play.
that.
Y'all can't come in here. Who he gonna sit on the bed? You gonna sit on this chair? You gonna sit on the back of my chair? I ain't got the space for that.
No, it got to be at Candace's house.
It's got to be at Candace's house. I know you didn't want us to say it, but it's got to be at your house.
Yes.
I'll bring all my stuff there. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking dead at you. You didn't know I was looking at you, but I was looking at you when I said it.
Where are we gonna have it?
I don't. We can have it anywhere. We can have it in that room down there with the right there by the patio.
I was saying like.
Oh
no,
yeah.
by the
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, we do it right there. So like, I have some of the tools. Josh, I think you still have your mic, don't you?
I had a mic on my Astros.
Okay. Yeah, we might. So I mean, it
We
might
gotta
take
get
a
a
little
couch
bit.
down
Stand-up
there,
mic
Candace.
though.
We can just.
We gotta get a couch down there.
You said a couch.
Yeah, you don't want everybody just
Yeah,
standing
right.
up for an hour while we
Yeah.
do that.
And some little side tables.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That would
Well,
be cute.
yeah.
We will find one
We'll have
tomorrow.
to figure something like that out, because
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Tell Tasha she can get it off the auction, or she probably already
Yeah.
got some stuff.
She definitely got some chairs. She's at least got some chairs. So I know for a fact she got a whole living room set in the back of that truck out there. So we.
Yeah, she showed us.
Yeah.
That would be a cute podcast setup. Okay, hold on.
Candace, I'll let you talk to her about that. Don't make me have to do it. She'll listen to you when you say it, like, hey, you wanna do the thing? Yeah, she'll. If you tell her you wanna do a podcast and she gonna do it, yeah, she gonna do it. She'll be over there tomorrow with different pieces in the back of the truck, putting it together by herself.
Aw.
Yep. So
Yeah.
okay, well, this is an amazing conversation, everybody. I'll go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll let everybody get back to the rest of their Sunday. I appreciate everybody who came through. Thank you guys, and look forward to seeing you guys. Like I said, hopefully next Sunday, if everybody's available, we'll come up with a different topic and try to meet right back here if we can.
All right.
All
All
right.
right, sounds
bet.
good. All
Dog.
right. Peace out, everybody. Peace out,
Bye.
stream. Thank you guys. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. That was fun. That was lots of fun. Am I even streaming right now, or is my 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 computer's not even, my camera's not even up right now. I'd have to reset stream if I wanted to actually do this, but yeah, you guys can just kind of see my backdrop. My backdrop is so cool. I love my backdrop. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here now. For now, hopefully I can get it to where my internet works, it behaves a little better in the future. So look forward to seeing you guys next week, and I'll try to make some posts leading up to next week so people can be ready and aware. And yeah, I'll catch you guys. See you guys. Love you.